Hello. Welcome to the Unbelievable podcast. This is a fucking
Mr. Crime.
this is a podcast where me and my friend watch we watch B movie every month. And we did that. We watched B movie. So what do you think about it, Brandon?
Um, I think that when I begged you so that we could just end this project and not watch it this month, you should have agreed. Because we just wasted
um
an hour and a half of our life.
I mean,
Again.
yeah, but like I'm gonna be honest. I
I want to watch it
also,
less and less each month.
that's true. Okay, the existential dread that we just kind of had
We
building up
thought
to
it was
this,
gonna
it
kick
was
in
so
like
bad.
episode 7. It's episode,
Oh,
what,
oh
3?
yeah, like this. I wanted to watch this one so like less than last time. Like I really did not want to watch it, and
You know, I
I
would,
had
like,
shit
you
to do
called me
today.
and
I
I
have
legit
things
didn't
to
want to pick
do.
up.
Yeah, I know. I had like things I want to do. I still have things I want to do. I'm fucking busy right now. I've been doing exams all week. But like the thing is, even with all that, even with how much I do not want to watch this movie, I kind of liked it this time, just a little bit.
You're fucking insane.
Okay. I did not. This movie sucks, and I really don't like it. But there were a few jokes I kind of laughed at this time. Did you notice that?
It was the same jokes we laugh at every
I know,
time.
I know. That's the thing is, I've distilled all of the jokes that I actually like from this movie, and so now I just kind of like tune out until those show up, and then I laugh, and then the movie keeps going. So, um, yeah, if you didn't watch the other two episodes, which I don't blame you, no one
Don't.
cares.
You don't
Don't
have to,
You don't
man.
have
This
to.
is for us and no one else.
But if you didn't, then here's some B movie lore. Every 30 minutes, this movie changes. There are three different movies in one, and the first one is about it's like a romance, and then it cuts to like him suing the honey industry, and then it's an environmental movie at the very end. Uh, and I still do not like that. I think this movie is best at like the first 30 minutes. Were you feeling that? I mean, you weren't
Um,
feeling anything.
I think I was not. I think the part reason the hive is like awful,
Oh, that's bad.
and then he
But
talks to Vanessa, and it's not even good or mediocre. It's just not. I don't want to rip my hair out.
yeah, it's just not
It's
terrible, is what I'm saying.
bearable.
The whole subplot of him and Vanessa's romance is the only part about this film where like the acting is passable and the jokes are like it's kind of cute because like Jerry's just kind of doing like his regular stand up just like as the jokes. Uh, but like I think every other aspect of this movie
God awful.
from an unironic standpoint is just bad. From a standpoint of me, I am starting to like this movie more just because of everything about it and its
You're
existence.
wrong. You're just
I
wrong.
mean,
It's just
I'm
so
sure
bad.
I'm wrong, but like I still watched it. I can't. I refuse to say I fully enjoyed this movie. Because I didn't. Because when we watched this, it was like um literally just like nothing. This was a. I feel like that's the best thing. Is the
I
past.
missed like 3 lines that I always
Yeah.
pick up on. I didn't.
The past two times we've watched this movie, it's been like, like at the end of it, it's just nothing. Neither of us feel anything. But this time, this movie actually got like some chuckles and some laughs out of me, which I
Yeah.
appreciated a lot. Uh, you know what? Since we have to fucking buy for time, I'll cover every single time I laughed, or every time I at least recognized that the joke was like well structured in like anything.
Um, I think their insect jokes were pretty nice
Yeah, I think
because
I think those
because
were
it's
good.
about a bee, but like they don't even do it most of the time. Most of the time, it's just bad jokes about like
Yeah.
it's just bad Jerry Seinfeld jokes that feel offensive.
Okay, so the like three or four there are like three jokes I laughed at and three that are so terrible that they probably didn't age well when the movie was made. Um the first one that I actually thought was kind of silly. Everything with Ken and Moose Blood is like actually like something. Like I actually
Actually, kind of fun.
like
Yeah,
this stuff with Chris Rock is like actually funny, even though he only shows up in the movie twice.
because he's an actual comedian.
Because
And
he's
Jerry
a real
Seinfeld's just a
comedian.
dad.
Yeah. Uh, I laughed at. I genuinely laughed at the scene where they're doing the flashback and he's in purgatory and she's flying the plane and that
Or she
crashes.
gets murked.
She just dies, and that's the
Yeah.
only funny part about it. But like, it's still a little silly. I kind of like that. And then I laughed at.
I like his uncle.
Oh, I liked the uncle this time. Kind of. He was a little silly.
A little
Uh,
wacky.
a little wacky and a little crazy. Jesus. Uh, I liked the scene where they're going through the plan, and he's like, "Okay, and now, once we steal the flower bed, all we need to do is just blend in with traffic." And the joke is,
And then they
they
smash through a wall.
Yeah.
A giant flower.
That
field.
was
And
funny.
The joke is
That was
they-
silly.
they don't blend traffic because they're a flower flow.
Yeah.
Oh,
And I think that was like it for the jokes I left up. It was all the shit with Moose Blood, that one, and then the other one, and then that was it. Like I don't think there was. Oh, this is a thing. We actually paused to check this. So there's a joke with like Ken's job brochure, which is like nothing. It's literally like a background joke, but we paused it and they actually did like render out the entire brochure, and it's actually kind of funny. It's a little
'cause
silly.
It's Ken.
Because it's Ken. So it doesn't count because everything with that voice actor is a little silly. But as for the jokes that were terrible, there's a joke. I don't know if we've ever like blatantly pointed it out before, and I'm too lazy to go back and check. But there's a joke where they kind of allude to bees being enslaved, and he's like,
Oh, we never picked up on that before.
Oh, yeah.
Jesus.
He was like, "How much longer will the bees be enslaved by the white man?" And he points to like all the white guys. Which, first of all, Jerry Seinfeld, who is probably the whitest person in history, is the one saying that, which would not fly today. If this movie was released today, it would not be received well. People would hate the jokes.
Yeah.
And then like a black guy just kind of is like, "Oy,
He like switches away. He's like,
you can visibly see him going, "That's not gonna be received well in the movie."
Yeah.
And
we found more
God.
gremlin background actors.
Oh yeah, there were a few this time. The background actors are the funnest part about this movie now. Most of the bees look terrible.
Everyone looks terrible except Vanessa and
Yeah. And Adam, I guess, doesn't look that bad for a bee. But Jerry looks bad. Jerry looks bad because he looks like someone who tried to make Jerry Seinfeld into a bee without remembering what Jerry Seinfeld looks like. Like, he doesn't look like Jerry Seinfeld.
No.
As for other comments on this movie, I definitely did. When we were watching it, I noticed that like this movie is really fucking ugly most of the time.
Oh god, the beehive, the color palette. Jesus Christ.
The beehive at the first.
It has the same
15
color palette
minutes.
as a pimple.
It literally does. It's like yellow and the purple and like tannish pink, which is just I want to say it. The beehive, I think at the start I said that like all the stuff with bee culture was kind of fun. The beehive is designed terribly. I take that all back. Because the longer you look at it, like as long as we have, where we've probably watched like a solid 2 hours of beehive footage, it drives you insane. The beehive drove me insane. Other shit. I feel like this movie wouldn't be good for kids. Like, did you watch this film when you were a kid?
I've literally never seen it before this.
I feel like they probably threw it on during like recess, but I don't. There's a fucking train in the background. It doesn't matter. No one's gonna watch this. Like there, I probably did when I was a kid, but I don't remember it at all. I don't think a kid would enjoy this at all, because we didn't, and we are children, basically. So yeah, who was this movie fucking made for?
Jerry Seinfeld.
It was made for Jerry Seinfeld only. Do you think he watches this movie sometimes? Do you think like on a Saturday?
No.
He like puts it on. And he's like, haha! The joke about gold tooth was that one was a real banger, you know?
No, he doesn't watch it.
Do you think? Yeah, I think he barely remembers it, honestly. Their goal was to make a literal B movie that was just like incomprehensible and dumb and bad, and they succeeded at that. And I laughed like twice. So there you go. I feel like the meme qualities that everyone points out, like you like jazz and shit like that, is the least interesting part about this film.
Yeah.
If you rewatch this film and like your only expectation is the meme shit, like you want to see Ken say yogurt night and you want to see you like jazz, you're gonna get nothing out of this. Because, like, it happens, and you're like, oh. And then it ends. God. Yeah, this movie is not fucking funny.
This movie's not fun to watch.
This movie is not fun to watch anymore. You know, the idea of, like, sitting down every month and watching B-movie for, like, a year, that is novel until you realize that we have to do it. Like the first time it was funny. Because we saw B-movie for the first time in a really long time, and we had a lot to say about it. And the second time was funny because we were doing it again. But, like, the third, fourth, fifth, and sixth times are nothing, you know? Like, it's not going to be anything. Yeah. The most enjoyment and excitement I got out of getting ready for this review was just designing, like, the thumbnail, which looks kind of silly. But I do that right after I upload the videos, so it was nothing. Okay. Yeah, this episode's gonna be short. Let's get into the ratings. Let's rate this fucking film.
Oh, no. I have a few things.
Okay, yeah.
Mainly just, like, Chris Rock. You can tell that, like, the people who are actually, like, decently funny got to write their own lines.
Yeah. It feels like he, at least...
Like, those are Chris Rock jokes.
It feels like all of the shit he did was, like, improv bits. Like, he wasn't even... They were just like, okay, say something about, like, windshields, and then he just, like, went off.
Lawyer, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, why you gotta clean...
Yeah.
And then I feel like...
Silly.
I know we touched up on this again, but I hate how a lot of Jerry Seinfeld jokes, you hear it and you're like, oh, that's not gonna age well, but it's not offensive.
It's not inherently offensive. It feels like
it's targeting a certain person.
Yeah, it's a lot of it is just
joke, and it wasn't offensive because he was just calling.
He was just like making a silly drag queen jokes. Like
but it feels like it was offensive.
It feels like it was, you know.
The Daisy joke didn't suit. I didn't like that where he was talking about the Daisy. No one likes a Daisy that got work done.
Yeah, that's.
I just feel like that one is kind of just like fuck you if you got.
Yeah.
You get. It's just. So much of the movie feels wrong, but it doesn't do anything wrong.
Yeah. I have nothing else to say about this film. I think it is the perfect example of, like, it's the perfect example of, like, how movies at this point have become, like, quantity over quality. Where, like, we just make more of them. And, like, no one's gonna... I guarantee you no one's rewatched B-Movie as many times as we have already. And we've only seen it, like, 3 or 4 times. This movie does not have a good shelf life for a movie, you know? Like, there are films that I can rewatch a bunch of times. And, like, I'll get new shit out of them. Or I just rewatched the movie, like, 2 days ago. But, like, B-Movie... is barely even good on one watch. It expires quick. Alright, should we rate this bitch? Should we do that?
I don't want to do this.
I'm gonna rate it. Someone's outside. So, as like a movie, um, do we do it out of 5 or out of 10? Actually, I'm gonna have to check that. I literally forgot.
I think
Um,
it's out of 10.
yeah, it's out of 10. Okay, so as a movie, this time I'm rating it literally like 2 out of 10. I felt nothing. What are you gonna give it?
I'm gonna give it a 1.
Yeah, like this is a nothing movie. This
Maybe
is a
maybe like
nothing
a one and
film.
a half, just because Chris Rock and Ken were
Just
like
because Chris Rock and Ken are amazing. Now, B
they were just
movie
like
scale.
suitable.
Now, as a rewatch, funny B movie, haha. What am I feeling? I am feeling like a 4 out of 10. I liked Chris Rock. I liked Ken. I liked looking at the people in the background and screaming at them, and I liked 2 of the actual jokes. So that's enough for a 4 out of 10 for me. What are you gonna give it? B movie rating.
I feel like I didn't. We picked up on more insect jokes this time, so that's a good part of it.
Yeah.
But I feel like nothing. Like I don't remember anything already. Like I already forgot what happened.
Yeah.
So honestly, I'm gonna give it a 3 because I don't even remember Emily watching it.
All right. Cool. That's been the Unbelievable podcast. We'll see you fucking next month.